You see an old motel, an abandoned gas station, a diner that hasn't served customers in decades, an empty stretch of road disappearing into the desert. You might think this place was destroyed by a disaster, but that's not what happened. Welcome to Shafi Global. This is Glenrio, a forgotten community on the Texas and New Mexico border, and its story reveals something fascinating about America. Sometimes a town doesn't disappear because people stop wanting to live there. Sometimes the roads simply move somewhere else. Welcome to Shafi Global. Today we're traveling to one of America's most unusual ghost towns to discover what happened to Glenrio. Glenrio grew along America's famous Route 66. For travelers crossing the country, towns like Glenrio were essential stopping points. Drivers needed gasoline, they needed food, they needed somewhere to sleep, and Glenrio provided exactly that. Gas stations appeared, restaurants opened, motels welcomed travelers, the road brought people, and the people brought money. For a small desert community, the highway was its lifeline. Then America changed. The Interstate Highway System began transforming long-distance travel. New, faster roads were being built across the country. Eventually, Interstate 40 bypassed the historic Route 66 section near Glenrio. For travelers, this was progress. The journey became faster, but for Glenrio, the change was devastating. The cars didn't disappear, they simply stopped passing through town. And when the traffic disappeared, the businesses began disappearing too. Think about what that means. A restaurant doesn't necessarily close because its food becomes bad. A motel doesn't necessarily fail because nobody needs a room. A gas station doesn't necessarily disappear because people stop driving. Sometimes people simply stop passing by. And that's what makes Glenrio's story so powerful. Its economy was built around movement. When the movement changed direction, the community changed with it. Today, Glenrio is a remarkable snapshot of old Route 66. Buildings remain scattered across the landscape. Old signs remind visitors of a time when cross-country travel looked very different. The silence is almost the opposite of what the place once represented. Imagine this road decades ago, with cars arriving and families stopping for gasoline, travelers checking into motels, and people eating in roadside restaurants. And then imagine all of that gradually becoming quieter, until almost nothing remained. But Glenrio isn't simply an abandoned town, it's part of America's larger story. Route 66 helped connect communities across the country. And when transportation changed, some communities adapted while others were left behind. Today, Route 66 has become a symbol of American road trip culture. Would you stop here if you were driving Route 66? Comment your US state or country and imagine driving across America. You see an old motel, an abandoned gas station, a diner that hasn't served customers in decades, and an empty stretch of road disappearing into the desert.